After 22 years on the radio, we couldn't stay quiet for long.
We're Lori and Julia, still loud.
Pop culture, gossip, books, TV, music,
and probably a little too much laughter.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us today. This is Lori and Julia. And Lori today has dressed as Miranda Priestly. From the Devil Wears Prada 1 and 2.
That's right.
And I am just sitting here looking in awe at how fabulous you are, darling.
Thank you. I've got my blue glasses on, Salt from Envision. I've got a faux fur collar on.
Lovely.
Because we're pre-recording this, because we'll be in Scandinavia when this airs, the only
we
thing
will.
that we were really disappointed about was that we would be missing the Met Gala because we'll be gone, and it really is the Super Bowl of fashion. But we thought, well, we have to do this. We can speculate about how people are going to be dressed and all of that. We're going to talk with Grant Whittaker, but honestly, this will probably be one of the most talked about Met Galas for a couple reasons. So,
all right, give me the reasons. Well, first of all, you're listening to Still Loud. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
And look at how you're pointing your finger and giving people the what
I'm
for.
I'm reminding you and I that we should announce what our show name. But back to you. Okay, so for 3 reasons. What are the reasons?
Okay, so the first reason it'll be talked about is the theme. Fashion is art. This is going to be probably one of the worst and best Met Galas because so many people will be ridiculous. Someone will wear, I guarantee, will come as a picture frame dressed as a famous painting.
Okay.
Maybe
Mona
2.
Lisa.
Yeah, something. Art. But it will be so misinterpreted, it'll be fabulous. We'll probably see someone in a starry night fabric gown. Kim Kardashian might come as the Mona Lisa, complete with the picture frame. But anyway,
borrowed from Ripley's Believe It or Not, like the Marilyn Monroe dress several years ago. Okay.
So we have fashion as art is the theme. It's for the first time been sponsored, like a stadium is, Pepsi or whatever, and it's being sponsored, and they're giving them the title of honorary chairs. So Jeff Bezos and his wife Lauren will be there, and she is always cleavage front and center.
Oh, those breasts have the life of their own, and they could probably walk on their own.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there will be a lot of talk about that, and then the chairs this year. We have Beyonce coming back for the first time in 10 years.
Wow.
Nicole Kidman,
as a chair. Yes.
As a chair, Nicole Kidman is a co-chair, Venus Williams, and then, of course, Anna Wintour. So people will be very excited. Of course, Nicole is almost always at the Met Gala, and Venus is a pretty regular, but Beyonce has not been there since
in a while.
2016. Or 2015, I think, when it was Through the Looking Glass, and she wore a bedazzled kind of naked dress, very similar to the first person who wore a quote-unquote naked, sheer, bedazzled dress to the Met Gala.
Who is that?
You know,
Cher.
Theme. That's right. Romantic and glamorous Hollywood design.
Okay.
And Bob Mackie designed it. And hopefully Marley can put up a picture of it, but she ends up being on the cover of Time magazine the following spring in 1975 with this dress on, and it's just kind of a fabulous moment. So
just a reminder, and I know you know this, and I know probably everybody knows this, but the Met Gala started in 1948, and it was the year after the institute. What is it? The Costume Institute opened up, and they needed an annual fundraiser because it was a nonprofit, and it really was under the radar until Diane Verland, if I'm saying her name right, took
Vreeland,
over.
yeah, from
Vreeland
Harper's.
took over in 1972, and she's decided to start having like Elton John and Cher, and Jackie Onassis chaired one year and started to make it into the celebrity thing. And then in 1995, Anna Wintour from Vogue took over as the chair and really made it big and encompassing. And they say that really it's taken over runway. It's taken over. It is, like you said, the Super Bowl of fashion, and the exposure that people get being, walking the red carpet and paying the whatever it is now to even come. Started out was $50.
Yeah, I think it's $100,000 a table.
Okay, I think it might be
maybe
per
it's
person.
more.
I think it might be per person, but so it's outrageous. But the exposure that they get is in the billions from all the pictures that are going to run. So I think, again, sometimes the more outrageous gets you the more exposures, gets you the more clicks. They say it's worth more to individuals, obviously, than the Super Bowl because their brand can, get so much exposure.
Yeah, and I expect to see Zendaya on the red carpet. Also, I believe Rihanna is there because A$AP Rocky is like underneath the honorary chairs. There's another subcategory, and it's A$AP Rocky and Zoe Kravitz. So will Harry be with her?
Harry Styles.
Will he be with her?
Yes, he will.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. That would really be a hard launching. She's never really walked the red carpet. She kind of does her solo thing because really that's what people want is a picture of her.
But she's with Harry Styles now.
Yes.
And last time Harry Styles went, I was looking back at some old pictures. He was in this. You loved it. I was on the edge. He was wearing a sheer black blouse, and I'm going to call it a blouse.
It was a blouse.
And with sleeves that caught in the gap, with like elastic, and then they came out afterwards, like a clown top. It wasn't my favorite look. And yes.
Was it a sleeve like this?
Yes, exactly. And then short pants and just kind of, it wasn't my look. I sometimes the blouse can go too far for me, but whatever.
Yeah, he was the first one to wear the blouse, and so it made me so happy. And it was the start of seeing, nipples, with men just wearing sheer blouses too. Not just, that is the one thing, is that
love.
I want to ogle men and women both.
Yeah.
So
and I think
the Met Gala does give us that. We have guys to ogle and look at, and they can really, like last year it was great. Was it the Dandy last year? But there were a lot of great looks by guys on the red carpet.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Timothée will have gone with Kylie because, of course, she and all the sisters except Chloe has gone once. And I think once 2 years ago, Courtney went, but Kim is always there, Kris Jenner and Kylie. They're the billionaires in the family, I guess. But
will Kendall go with Jacob Elordi or whatever his name is?
No, but she will be there. She will be there, and I always look forward to what she's wearing.
Like seeing them.
We haven't seen a picture of them out in the wild, except there was a picture of them sort of leaning towards each other at Coachella a few weeks ago.
I just meant the Kardashian crew. I like what they wear. I like the experience of them. I think it's fun.
Well, yeah, because sometimes it's just so ridiculous. Like the year that it was 2021, and it was the Lexicon of Fashion was the theme. And Kim came in head to toe Balenciaga. Remember, she was in a shroud. Her face, she couldn't see. She was being guided around, she was a blind person, and it was just a silhouette. She almost looked like a crow on a telephone wire in silhouette.
That is such a great description, Lori. Totally. And, back to Nicole Kidman being one of the chairs, I bet her date is Sunday Rose, her daughter. Because
she'd have to bring both daughters, I think.
Right.
How would you say no to your 15-year-old?
You'd say, Mommy, I'll take you next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Lori, as a parent, you have to make tough choices all the time.
Yeah, and Sunday Rose is modeling.
She is modeled, yeah.
So Yeah, and that is, between 15 and 17, it is a difference. It's kind of like how I always felt about freshman girls going to a prom with the senior. It was just like, you've taken up the senior space. Back off. Wait your turn.
But yet we don't get mad at the senior for inviting the freshman.
I get mad at the senior too.
Okay, stay in your own lane.
I it that way. Yeah.
Stay in your own lane. Okay, so
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. So anyway, we will have missed all this, and we hope it was great. And I am excited. When I looked back at some of the looks, I mean, Rihanna has had epic looks. Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, the wet that one year she was.
Yes, the last year with Kanye.
Yeah. And the first year she was a couch, a Davenport floral. Remember?
Mm-hmm,
she was so pregnant.
Yeah. I think Madonna is there because she's got that new song out with Sabrina Carpenter, which is number one on the dance hits, Be My Love. But I hope Madonna is there because I'm feeling her and I feel like she would take the assignment, fashion is art. She'll interpret it somehow because there are often many, many celebrities also completely ignore the theme. And
one of my favorites looks, Lori, remember Chroma Amachia? Remember that Chroma Amachia one or something? I kept asking you, what are they saying? What is this? What is this? But that was the year when Kanye wore the funny eye lenses.
Oh, yeah,
Wasn't
that
it?
was kind of a futuristic. That's also, I think, when Zendaya wore like armor or something. It was a futuristic
Tom Brady
theme.
wore something kind of crazy too that you look like he was so uncomfortable with.
But boy, did he and Giselle look pretty on the carpet together.
They were beautiful.
So
they were beautiful.
There will be people that just will ignore the fashion is art thing and just wear whatever they want or who they're getting paid for. We see that over and over, and then people yell about it. But I think the one year that was really a disappointment was the year it was gardens are floral or something like that. It was springtime and gardens, florals are in. It was like, okay, this is not a revolutionary theme. And, everyone has to run their outfit past Anna Wintour.
Right. And the point of the whole thing is they are charged with trying to interpret the meaning of whatever it is and required to dress that way.
Well, but that's why Anna when you see people not dressed in theme, she just wants them there. So she gives them a pass. It also makes sure no one is wearing the same thing, which I doubt would happen. But also that there are enough people who interpret the theme, and then she gently encourages their stylist or themselves to go to the Met, to go to the Costume Institute and see what the interpretation of fashion is art, which is also a lot of showing, from what I understand, like how women went from corsetry and bustles to having more room in their garments, even like how we talked with the tennis lady about how tennis fashion changed.
Yes.
How fashion can change as an art form for the lives of the women wearing it. So it's sort of an evolution of how, I mean, can you imagine wearing all that boning and corsetry as a daily thing? And how...
Excuse me, come and cinch my waist and button me up? No. But that's the beauty, because you and I went to that museum once when we were in New York. It was wonderful, and everyone should go.
Good.
The FIT Fashion Institute.
Well, that's different. No, that's...
Oh, no, you're right, Lori. You're right.
Okay, that's a different thing. The Fashion Institute is a design center, and they have other things. It's got nothing to do with
the Costume Institute.
The Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Okay, now I have another thing that I noticed when I was looking through all the pictures. Andrew Leontelli is not in one picture. He's like been scrubbed from ever being
so
at
sad.
The event.
He always wore fabulous,
capes.
Like see my faux capes
and
long caftans that were open with great sleeves and very much a nod to his Baptist roots. And like the picture you just showed was looks like a Baptist tabernacle choir robe,
choir
but
gown,
fancy.
Yes. But he will not be there because he's dead.
Well,
first
yes,
of all.
he's dead, Julia. But that they scrubbed him from
He's
the
the-
Vogue.
I don't see him in anything. And that was so sad to me because he was such a thing, but he made the comment.
20 years.
He made the comment that Anna is carried up the stairs.
No. That was
What was
Tim
it
Gunn.
again?
Tim Gunn.
Tim Gunn. Okay, what did he do? What did he do?
Andre Leontelli, well, he basically got shoved out of Vogue unceremoniously, and Anna did not reach out to him, and he was very revolutionary as far as, a black man in fashion at the, highest, right next to Anna Wintour, and I remember meeting him at the Patricia Field fashion show. He was sitting right in front of me, and I fangirled so hard over him.
As you should.
And he was really, he was so friendly and genial and nice to me because he's, this is 2000 and I don't know, 2, I guess. And I was just really awestruck because I knew who he was, and he had his own page, in every issue of Vogue where he had his column.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was just super nice. And in his memoir, he does, and I guess he did make up with Anna before
they died.
She did go to his funeral, but she kind of just never reached out and said, "How are you doing?" Because here he was always with her all the time, and then he gets pushed out in some BS cost-cutting thing, and then Anna can't follow up with him, and even
wait till I do it to you. I promise I'll follow up with an "I'm sorry."
Jeez,
you'll do it to me first.
Yeah, but that would be hurtful.
Of course it would be hurtful.
Yeah.
I agree. I think let's thank a couple sponsors because I have to tell you something that I learned today that I never knew before, but you probably did. You wise woman, you wise older woman than me.
Yes.
All right, so let's just think. We're talking fashion. Let's talk about Envision. Lori, you've got on this great pair of Salt glasses with the blue lens today. You've had these 15, 18 years?
15 years, but I have changed the prescription so I can actually use them. And the reason I just put in my updated prescription was that this frame is so great, and sometimes we would be on the red carpet at the SAG Awards or at an event where I didn't want to have sunglasses on, but I needed some protecting because my eyes are kind of sensitive. So
right.
I always see Robert Downey Jr. wearing Salt frames, and then he has them tinted to match the frame. And you can do that, just because glasses come with the clear thing, it doesn't mean you can't go pink or a gold or a greenish, or you can do these things. And I remember just saying to Envision at the time, I can have light blue lenses in these.
I can. This is so awesome.
It really was kind of a game changer because I also have a light lavender pair of glasses, fancy glasses, which is a rose pair, because then when I'm talking to people, they can see my eyes.
That's so important because all that red carpet work you do, I see how this is so relevant today.
Out at the fair or just on an overcast day, it's like ski goggles, Julia. You need lots of colored lenses.
I just love it that you reference the red carpet. That thing. Okay, so Envision, they're fantastic. And there are, like you said, there's so much you can do. But the number one thing, summer's coming up. Get yourself a good pair of polarized prescription sunglasses. They're a game changer. We love them. They're in the Galleria, envision-optical.com, Grand and Victoria, Minnetonka, as well as in the North Loop. And then Dr. Lisa, of course, at Lake Med Spa, LAKMEDSPA.com. And she is a board-certified OBGYN that really couldn't believe how neglected originally women's bodies were when they were going through perimenopause and postmenopause, and just couldn't believe that there wasn't anything to help them, and spent years studying hormone replacement therapies and has really built a name for herself. And she has a comprehensive hormone panel, and she does a consultation with you.
That's right.
Just to really figure out everything, because your hormones affect
Everything.
And
Absolutely
even if you've
everything.
heard from your doctor, oh, you don't need them, you're fine, or you haven't done it, why not? It's important to look into because it affects down to the cellular level.
Right. And the fact is that you deserve to feel like yourself again, but you don't feel like yourself when perimenopause hits and no one talks about it. And there's not a lot of like education, as Dr. Lisa found out. So to have someone specialized in it for both men and women's hormonal health, it changes. And you can feel like yourself again. You don't have to suffer.
You don't. And plus, they have a beautiful med spa with all, we talked about it last podcast, all the latest and greatest new things that you can do that we weren't aware of, but they're so innovative and it's very exciting what can be done non-surgical. And reach out to them and Dr. Lisa to book your consultation with Dr. Lisa at Lake medspa.com. And of course, say Lori and Julia sent you.
Please.
Okay, so I have to tell you something. So your look today, Lori has her blonde hair. She's got the fur on, the tinted glasses and everything. But I was at the hair salon right before this.
Your hair looks lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good
I
old
like
Jasmine at
Soapbox Salon.
We love her. I ran across this article and I was just kind of excited because The Devil Wears Prada 2 came out last week and we've been going crazy not being able to really go see it before our trip.
Yeah.
But everyone thought that her character Meryl Streep was inspired after Anna Wintour, but that literally was only part of it. She inspired the Miranda Priestly character after two men, and one of them was producer and director and actor Clint Eastwood. And she said specifically how Clint helped inspire her was Clint would never raise his voice. And she said that he would direct people and tell people what to do, and they'd always have to lean in to hear what he was saying.
Right,
but
talking softly but powerfully.
But he wouldn't raise his voice. You come to me, I'm not coming to you. And then she said the other one that helped her craft this character was basically imitating Mike Nichols, who is Saturday Night Live, who created Saturday Night Live. And she said if Mike Nichols and Clint Eastwood had a baby, it would have been Miranda Priestly. And she just said Mike had such a command on the set of SNL, or she worked with him on two movies, Heartburn and something else.
Yes.
He would also make kind of digs with the sly humor. And people thought it was mean, but she always thought it was very funny. So
like
she
the
would
backward compliment.
slap,
The
snig.
compliment insult.
Yes, a compliment insult. And so those were the two people that she really kind of, when she was molding what she would be like. And she said when she told Mike Nichols, he was just thrilled. He said, this is just so wonderful.
Of course.
So I never knew that before. Maybe we did.
I am going to correct you because one of our very first authors we had on in 2003 was Lauren Weisberger, who wrote the book, The Devil Wears Prada.
And I called her Laura Wasserman.
No, Lauren, that's the divorce attorney.
I know
to the stars.
I know she is. Oh my God, Lori! Thank God for my other half, you.
So Lauren was on our show for that book, The Devil Wears Prada,
and she was related to one of my mom's friends.
Yes, from
St. Paul. Mm-hmm.
She worked at Vogue for a year, and Anna Wintour, she is definitely Miranda Priestly. And then the character that Emily Blunt plays, the woman has been out loud about the fact that anyone in the fashion business knew and knows that character was based on her because Lauren worked across the hallway like Andy Sachs does. She's the, new girl to this number one assistant. And 20 years later, she gave an interview. So this interview was just like maybe a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
She's never seen the movie. She's never gotten an apology from Lauren for this biting portrayal of her. But I remember Lauren telling us, because we hadn't heard this, that it was a Romana Clef novel, which means it's loosely inspired by what really it's your story.
Right.
Remember, Pamela Anderson did a book called Bombshell called the Romana Clef.
Yes. Yes, I do.
So she did work. She basically is Andy. The Emily Blunt character really is this woman, and she's come out and said that she's indignant about it. And that Lauren's never apologized, which is just so great and petty. Like, to me, I would be like bragging that was me.
Wrote about me. Wow.
Yeah.
And it was a huge hit, and they made it into a movie.
And they made
that
it
book
into a
was
movie.
everything.
And anyone who, because all these characters, like the two assistants, they're in their 20s. I mean, anyone can look back and say, I can say without a doubt, absolutely 100%, I could be such a brat and a biatch in my 20s.
Yeah.
I thought nothing of it because you're quite insensitive. You know, you don't have the wisdom and all of that. So I don't know why she just doesn't own it, because she was doing what she had to do to get the job done, because Anna does eat that same lunch every day. Every day. That's well known, has been documented. She has a stay. I mean, people are not supposed to talk to her in an elevator or even get on if she's in it. There's
rules.
There's lore that came from that book, which has legendarily been confirmed. So that's why even the seeds of it all are so great, because I remember when the movie came out, I don't think we cared, or we might not have remembered, but there were people who were devoted fans of the book who didn't like the changes that were made for the movie's sake, because it didn't follow the book and the way the book ended and everything.
Listen, people.
Do you think Rich is in it? Do you think Rich is in it? From Mad Men and Stillwater?
Yeah, I know.
Rich Summer? Because he was in the first one. I don't think he is.
Because they didn't invite back the boyfriend either, Grenier.
He was the villain of that story. I mean, he was a chef who couldn't make a grilled cheese sandwich, and he was always scolding her. You got to dump the people who are always scolding you.
I think they kept the Stanley Tucci, Emily Blunt, Anne Hathaway.
The main four.
Yep.
That's all we needed.
And Anne, back to just a second on Anna, on Meryl Streep, she was looking for the voice. Like what they would
I understand that.
like. Yeah.
And,
what they would sound like.
And I can picture Anna Wintour very much being the queen of the backward complimentary insult.
Snap.
Like, she doesn't think anything of it. And of course, it always sounds better in a British accent.
Oh, of course. And I still vividly remember you and I being in New York, and we saw this waif of an envelope go by, and you go like, Julia, it's Anna Wintour. She's an envelope. She's the size of a sheet of paper. Like, she's that thin.
She was so thin.
Don't you remember?
Oh, yeah. She was the thinnest, and she had her big glasses on and her bob. I mean, she's so recognizable.
We were like on 44th and Broadway. I vividly remember because we were by my cousin Danny's house.
Yes, and then a couple blocks later, we had our across-the-street encounter with Al Sharpton and shouting at him how much, "We love you, Al! Reverend Al!"
The things we used to think that people cared about. I mean, who cares? We just would scream.
He yelled right back, and I mean, I love that he's a New Yorker. You know, it wouldn't have fazed us if he'd said bleep off, but it made our day that he was so friendly and just, hey, you know, and it was a spring sunny day.
Yes. Oh, I just think of how funny we were thinking we're just going to scream at everyone. Here we are.
We were born to be loud, Julia.
I have the loudest voice in the world.
No,
I do.
Your brother Casey does.
No. Oh, excuse me. I don't even compete with him. I'm wrong.
But I remember my mom or other friends, particularly Sandy, maybe my friend Sue, texting me while we're on the red carpet if I can hear Julia's voice through the microphones of the people standing, because that's how much yelling goes on. I'm
a projector, and why can't I sing with this lovely, loud voice? I wouldn't even need a microphone, Lori, if I could hold a tune.
You could, you could take singing lessons if it really bothered you.
No.
You hear it in your head. This is what counts.
Exactly.
Okay, I hear it in my head so clearly, and when I am singing, I sound like that in my head. So it's best to just continue to be delusional when you're singing along with your musical devices, whatever they may be.
Lori, I know. And the other night I went over to my lady that I bake with, Kay, the 93 or 94-year-old whose age I can never remember. And because we were going to be leaving out of town, I was going to see her for quite a while. And I called her at like 6:30 at night and she goes, come on down. Meredith is coming over for cocktails. So I was just putting together kind of a playlist for our trip.
Yeah.
And so I went over there with my Bose speaker, with my phone, made the ladies listen to some music. We were laughing hysterically. Oh, the joy of women who just continue to live no matter what age they are. We had
Julia.
A blast.
Was there any song they really connected with?
Well, we sang, what was the one? River by Joni Mitchell.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Hard song to sing.
Just knew it. And then I played Stairway to Heaven, the beginning and the end for them because I said this is just gold because I still think Led Zeppelin is gold. And we laughed. And then Kay is in love with Andrea Bocelli, the blind Italian tenor. In love with
his
him.
Voice.
And she always has, because she's got an Alexa, play Neil Diamond.
Oh.
I mean, so she's got a good playlist. I mean, and Meredith was just it was fun. It was one of those nights that I'm just like, oh, I hope we're like that when we're old, Lori, and live in the same place. Well, we've got a special guest joining us right now.
Yes, we do.
And let's get him on pot him up. We're delighted to be joined right now by our fashion catalyst and Grant Whittaker, who, of course, was a Mike Talk staple on the Shop Girls, is a producer on our show. Our fashion just go-to guy, and there's a big event coming up in the Twin Cities that Grant's going to tell us about. Hi, darling.
Hi, beautifuls. How are you today?
We're so
good. Is that a Versace shirt blouse that you're wearing?
It's a Barbaros, so it's similar but different, minus the Medusas, but equally expensive.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. And thank you for taking time because you're in the countdown for what I would consider the Twin Cities Met Gala, Glamorama, which is coming up on May 15th, Friday, May 15th. It's been 10 years since it's been put on. And of course, you've done Fashionopolis in September, which kind of took the place of that. But this is at the State Theater and benefiting Children's Cancer Research Fund. And people are genuinely so excited for the show and what you're going to be staging on that runway, Grant. Really?
Well, I'm really excited too. And, I love that you said Fashionopolis too, because, that's the fall spectacular. This gets to be the spring spectacular. It's just such a lovely way of doing it. And, of course, I met the two of you at Glamorama.
Yes, you did.
Knowing that I was coming on, I said to someone, I'm sure they're probably going to give me a little fun about
I know what you were wearing.
My yellow Ann Taylor.
Your yellow, canary yellow Ann Taylor blazer.
Cropped.
Yes.
Don't you remember? And then we just immediately fell in love with you and said, you have to be on our show. I mean, it was instant.
Well, I think it's because you wanted the yellow blazer for sure.
Yes.
Duh.
We all wanted to be birdies on that day, So it was a good way to kind of, mold together. And we became fast friends. And, of course, I think the world of you. If anyone's listening, these two won an Opening Windows Award for, of course, being just pioneers in their industry. So you are so loved and appreciated.
Oh, Grant.
That's really sweet. And back at you. So for people who don't know what Glamorama is, or kind of give them the genesis of how it started and then how you're ending up bringing it back to the Twin Cities.
Yeah, so it was Fash Bash. It was Cause for Applause. Then it was Fash Bash. Then it was Glamorama. And I joined the show, of course, in 2000 as a dancer. And was a dancer for 2 years in a row and then took a year off, and I was asked to kind of fill a spot as the fashion production manager. So I got to work on that until 2011. So from 2000 to 2011, I have really great history with that show. If you're not familiar with Glamorama, it was the earmarking fashion experience. It was stars,
and it was
fashion, staging,
through
lighting.
Macy's. So it
Or
started out
Dayton's.
as
It started with Dayton's.
Dayton's, yeah.
as a fundraiser for the Children's Cancer Society.
Cancer Research Fund.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and then it
and,
went to Macy's.
And that's the evolution these days, so we leave all things Children's Cancer Research Fund as the beneficiary of all those years.
Nice.
And now, through the evolution of Dayton, Hudson, Marshall Fields to Macy's, now Children's Cancer Research Fund is the new department store. And so that's kind of the spirit of it. And I'll give you the gist of the story. Elizabeth Allen, who's the CEO for Children's Cancer Research Fund, reached out to me in the November of 2024. And we sat and had a conversation. And she said, I really would love to bring Glamorama back. And after that lunch, she went and bought the name.
I love it.
So it will be the same in that it's a cocktail party, and then you see a fabulous fashion show, and then there's a party after that, and the models are. I mean, is it similar in that feel where it's a fashion extravaganza, but you're also having a blast and can dress in your best?
That's it's so funny because, of course, you guys are journalists and, fabulous radio hosts. And so, but I know you, so I get to kind of give you more of the gist of the story. We can get down to like the nitty gritty. It is all of those things, but it's different in this way. When you don't have a department store, you have to think about what it is. And the client in this aspect is Children's Cancer Research Fund. So my obligation is not just as artistic director. I was a development director and worked with Children's Cancer Research Fund on this hand in hand. How do we bring it back? How are we going to work it? What is it going to be? What are the ideas going to be? And, I own a creative agency, so they're a client. So I had to go in and say, this is how I would do it. And so what I am doing with the show is, first of all, we have 5 fashion segments, true to form Glamorama. But what I've done with those fashion segments is I have thought about the heyday of department store. So you would walk into Dayton's and you would see the fur salon. So Grant is bringing back the fur salon, and I'm doing it in a way that we would do it currently. You will have fur, you will have faux fur, you will have winter staples, all of those things put into one. So perfect for every person and perfect for our climate. You get to see a bridal salon brought to life.
Oh, wow.
Very Carrie Sex in the City coming out of the church after Mr. Big left her standing there.
Okay.
So dramatic, Vivienne Westwood-like, built to the T's, like really excited about that. And so then we have a heritage section, which is built on what Glamorama was. I have samples that have come in from Oscar de la Renta, Lanvin, you name it, all the brands that were carried. And so I'm doing it also not just as new, I'm doing it in honor of things. But what is really new and true to form and true to this client is I have 5 what we call emporiums. And I went to my client, Children's Cancer Research Fund, and said, listen, if it's about you and it's about the mission, give me 5 kids who have gone through a journey of cancer. And let's bless them with the opportunity to work with me on 5 segments that are Glamorama-like. So they were sent questionnaires about what's your favorite candy? Where would you travel? What would be your board game? What's your positive dreams? It was like a coloring book of all these worlds, and they came back with all these answers. And from their answers, I developed worlds, but then they became the client. I had to present to them, to their moms, to their dads. And we have come up with things like the opening of the show is called Boarding Pass. And it's, makes me emotional. Because,
I know it. I noticed that, Grant.
Oh, wow, Grant.
And
when you have to talk to a child who's gone through cancer and try to present to them and be imaginative, Children's Cancer Research Fund has deemed me the Willy Wonka of fashion.
Oh, that is amazing.
Honestly, there have been some tears because you know what they've gone through and you know how hard that is. Plus, I lost my own mom to cancer. So that is, it's hard to watch somebody go through that journey. It really, really, really is. But then Boarding Pass starts the show and it's about a child who wanted to go and travel into a game world. And I saw all these images of bullet trains and fashion in Tokyo streets. And can you imagine? That is Glamorama.
Yes.
And so what the audience will see is a reveal of the stage like they've never seen it, and a train coming into the station. And then I
Oh my God.
started.
Is it at the State or the Orpheum?
It's at the State Theater.
The State
Okay.
Theater. Okay, great. And
Yeah.
tickets, where do we get tickets?
You get tickets. You can go to Children's Cancer Research Fund and go to events, and Glamorama comes up and with all the spectacular information. You can go to the State Theater and go to Ticketmaster. They've got all the information for you. And, this is a blessing to, I think, the city. I think it's a blessing to downtown. I think it's a blessing to Hennepin Trust. I mean, Children's Cancer Research Fund has worked really hard to make this what it was. And
Yeah.
I can't tell you how excited I am. I know and I said to my husband yesterday, what's so fabulous about this is I know what it is in my brain. And
Grant,
that
it's
just-
going to be amazing.
And to know me, you guys know me, like
I know
always
you.
thinking, and I'm always thinking of ideas. And it's
You're
you
so
have,
clever.
Yeah, you have the most fashionable, clever, and musical genius at putting those three things together, because your taste is just and then how you do come up with your runway executions of how you tell a story is really I don't know how my brain would collapse. It couldn't hold that many thoughts, but it is really a talent, Grant, that you're able to do that. And that's part of the excitement too, because people now know your name, know your reputation, and
Yep.
they've seen what you've done with Fashionopolis. So like the streets are talking, honey.
Well, and the thing is also, you guys know who the artistic director was previous, which was Myron Johnson. And it's nice to be in a situation where you came into a situation and you had your own skill, but you also learned from the best person.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's
amazing.
And so I think it's also a tribute to be able to say to him, listen, I am not only taking my skill, but I'm reviving all the gifts. There are a lot of gifts. I think Laura Shera, who of course was the trend correspondent, we talk
Yes.
about that all the time. We were gifted. We had our own talents, but we were gifted the knowledge of what that department store and the artistic directors and the staff, they
Yes.
gave us. And so
Yeah.
to impart that history and be able to do it the right way. And you said it too, like music is a big part of this. The
Yes.
the music to the segments. And then that was the bigger part, was who was the talent going to be? And we had to sit and think, and I had all these ideas, and I kept thinking about what's the demographic? It's a woman that's in her mid-20s to her 80s. And so what are you going to dance to?
Kind of
What do
like
you
ours.
remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's our demographic.
But you had to think about what's going to get people out of their seats. And I went and I said to Children's Cancer Research Fund, like, listen, here are these divas. And I had just seen these women a couple years back do something, and they were being honored on something called Black Girls Rock. And Crystal Waters, Cece Peniston, and Robin S. took the stage. And they were known as the dance divas. They were the only ones.
I love all those ladies.
And they all had the global #1s for dance.
Oh, wow.
And
And
we
are they
get
going to be there?
all three.
Oh, my gosh,
So
Grant.
it's a concert and a fashion show like Glamorama did used to be.
Oh,
Yes.
how
Oh my gosh.
exciting.
Okay.
But I remixed it. We have
You did, of
segments
course.
with fashion and the divas.
Okay. So what time does this start, and what are we wearing on May
So
15th?
we're saying to everyone, it's fashion chic.
Okay, love that. Good,
Well,
broad,
because
general.
that's interpretive for each person, and you can be
Thank you.
yourself and do
Thank
your
you.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing, the show itself starts at 7:45. The event really does kick off. Like, you can get there at 5:30. There's multiple different things going on. We've got some like pre-VIP. We've got red carpet. We have all the different things going. So I mean, it's a party.
I'm going to be there right when it starts, Grant. I would love to people watch. I want to view the red carpet as it comes in. I want a cocktail. I like to get there early because to me,
And stay late.
Yeah, to me, it is like a Met Gala type of situation. And you do have a chance for a red carpet in front of the State Theater.
You do. And, that's the space where you can walk in. And I mean, come on. Like, when was the last time you were at the State Theater for something that was like this? We were all there for Purple
years.
Rain, which was wonderful. I was
Yeah.
sitting I was sitting in the audience of Purple Rain, and oddly enough, one little purple thing fell down from the rafters. It was
Oh,
so strange. And I have it, like I kept it. It's in my program. And it was the only thing. And this woman was looking at me, and I thought to myself, well, I'm going to be here soon.
No kidding.
I love that. That's such a
No
great
kidding.
sign.
Oh
It
my
was.
gosh,
And
Grant.
I will say this because it's a hard thing to do this work. I think people don't realize how hard it is. It's
I
not just,
remember talking to you about this like 2 years ago, and you're
yeah.
like, it's going to happen. And oh my gosh, the amount of time and energy and effort. You've got to be exhausted and exhilarated at the same time.
The fun part starts, but it's a lot of work. The pulling,
Yeah.
the styling, the shifting, the rehearsals, all of those things. We move into the theater the Tuesday before the event. So we get good time to rehearse. I have 30 really talented people. I have 2 movement dancers that will be a variety of different parts. I've got some of the best models. I don't have some of the best. I have the best. We have a couple of people who are coming back into town that are staples that I've been wanting to bring back for something like this, and they will be here. I mean, it's such a big deal, I think, to so many people, and it's such a big deal to Children's Cancer Research Fund. It really is.
Yes.
It's amazing to do something like this. And like I said, the emotional part comes in is when you talk and you see the difference. When you have to sell something to a kid, let alone a kid that's gone through cancer and their parents, and you're trying to impress them more or less about them, their
Yeah.
worlds, all those different things, and you see how excited they are.
I hope you raise so much money, Grant.
do
I
I.
hope you do. Are there tickets still available?
There are.
get
So
going?
the VIP is sold out, but let me tell you,
Okay.
every seat is a good seat, and there are
It's true.
multiple parties kind of happening. So this is
Yes.
a must-see situation. Plus, it's the first one.
And
Oh.
also, I would say to people, don't be intimidated because it's a fashion event.
Right.
Right.
It is really a friend, a date night, whatever you want to call it. You're giving money to a good cause, but you are going to go and enjoy something and wear what you like.
Totally.
Because what's
Fashion
the old
chic
saying?
is
Nobody's looking at you, honey. There's
No.
going to be so many fabulous people
right.
to look at. I always just say, no one's really looking at me. So I don't have to be the most fabulous because there are people that wear that mantle in the Twin Cities, have the money. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
but you can come in a pretty blouse and a pair of pants if that's what you want. It doesn't matter. You are there to enjoy yourself and contribute to a really great cause and experience something that don't be shy about
I love
going,
that,
I guess
Lori.
is what I'm
Because
saying.
people are intimidated sometimes to go to things like this, and I just love that. It's not about you.
Yeah,
You're there to have fun and enjoy it and be a part of this great charity fundraiser. And it's like nothing you've ever been
Yeah.
to before.
And
Right.
it's here. We don't have to travel. We don't have to get on a plane. We don't have to do anything other than get an Uber or a Lyft or a ride. Don't be like Julia and I and park in a parking lot that closes at midnight because they really mean that when some of those downtown lots.
We never got to, that was, we
Grant,
have
the true
so,
story. Some of those lots close at midnight. So just, FYI.
Just be aware.
Lori,
aware.
that did happen.
It did happen. It was a Glamorama we were having.
I had my minivan.
I think it was the Cyndi Lauper night.
Yeah, oh dear. We were best friends.
That was
Yeah.
such a great night, by the way. That was such a fun show. And MC Hammer that year.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And Casey has always remembered the year that the models swung out in swings at the State Theater and you could see their underwear. And he was like, that was the most incredible fashion show. After I'm like, I don't want to go with you. For some reason, Julia, you're out of town. I like going with a girlfriend or a guy friend.
Right.
I don't want to go with my husband.
It's wasted on him.
It's wasted on him, but he really did enjoy the year of the swings.
Well, so do you know the swings was Jennifer Lopez lingerie?
Was that what that was?
Yes, that's exactly what it was. So prior to that, she had a collection called Sweet Face, which was her collection. And we worked on that show and she threw crystals on the floor. And so it was housed in the 28 shop in the auditorium of the Chicago show is where she presented it. And then, of course, she had her lingerie line.
Yes, and she had the Jennifer Lopez collection at Kohl's because I bought a sequin top that I still have.
But Lori, it was also at Herberger's.
Yes, it was.
And the Glow line of makeup.
Yes.
Remember? Oh my gosh, deep cuts.
Grant, we have to ask you, can you just, we have to just thank a couple sponsors, but we wanted to just go through some Met Gala looks because even though we're pre-recording this, we feel that the theme fashion is art is just going to be, we know someone's coming in a picture frame.
Of course.
Some people will really adhere to it, but it's open to a lot of interpretation. So let us thank a couple sponsors. Julie, let's grow some hair. Let's grow some hair.
Okay, so Hair Restoration Institute of Minnesota is who I passionately love. And I just got my hair done today, and I have these places where my hair sticks up funny because I'm getting all this new regrowth. And I, unprompted, Jasmine, my hairdresser, says, oh my gosh, they're coming in and they just keep coming in and now they're starting to get to the length of the old stuff. And I had growth factor injections in my head. And I've only done it once. You're supposed to go more, and I am going to go more, just a timing thing. But I had such success
with one
injection, and it just, there's so many other things that you can do, either surgical or non-surgical. Mine was obviously non-surgical. They do tattooing, they do hair systems where no one would ever know. You swim, you shower, you do everything, and then once a month you just come in and get it tightened up. But women are also doing hair transplants, and so that's something to think about. But as you age, whatever your reason is that you're losing hair, a lot of it is hormone and stress. They have solutions, and go to HRIMN.com. Click on the upper right-hand corner for the free consultation. And if you're a man, you go with a guy. And if you're a woman, you go with Beth. And you could do it virtually or you can show up in person. They're right at the Mall of America, and they're wonderful. HRIMN.com. And then I just have to talk about Borton Overseas because as this is playing, we are with them on a LoJ trip.
That's right. And I think we'll be in Copenhagen when this podcast drops.
Yes.
So if you want to look up the Copenhagen weather and see what we're dealing with, feel free.
It's going to be, I'm just going to say cold, and the service is not supposed to be good, but people love Copenhagen.
Oh, Julia, we're going to have a blast there.
I know. Mind the bikers, though, because they are serious bikers in Copenhagen. Stay out of the bike lane. Okay, so here's the thing also from Borton is that they have 2 signature journeys with small groups that you can join. In December, they're going to a Baltic Christmas experience. In the new year, they're going back to the fjords where we're going to be. If either of those excite you, which they should, because they do everything for you and they're experts and they know all the right places to go and the time and everything. Go to BortonOverseas.com for more information. And of course, our trip to Croatia next April, more information will be coming on that as well. But if that doesn't fit for you, there's other options, and they are just wonderful to work with. So make sure you tell them Lori and Julia sent you. We love them. And then finally, Lori, talk about your closets.
Oh my gosh. I asked the designer that worked with me, I said, has anyone else ordered a closet system for 1 room and 1 closet in a record amount of 4 days? Because she came out on a Friday.
Right.
I had the design on Monday and I, paid my deposit and signed the stuff on Tuesday. And she said, that might be one of my fastest ones.
That's
I said,
so nice.
Go ahead and tell me I'm the fastest one. Because
Lori, you love to have a title.
I love to have a title. I love to give myself a made-up title, and I love
the fastest decider to put it in a closet.
If Grant ever came to my house and saw this closet, he would have to duck. I'd say to him, Grant, I'm going to open this door now. Now, please cover your head.
Hit the deck.
Because things are tumbling out. It's just ridiculous. So, anyway, I'm as excited about this as anything I've bought in a while, and I was just really surprised. There was one I didn't want to pay so much for this one areas. So she took out something and it took a big chunk of the money down. So very nice.
They work within your budget too. They work within, no budget's too small. If you have $500
and making everything here in Minnesota, everything is from Minnesota. So it's a family owned and they are very, their cause is veterans housing and veterans. And so I've always liked working with a company that has that focus on community as well as employing a lot of, solid people.
We love them. tcclosets.com for more information. Of course, tell them the girls sent you.
That's right.
Now we will go back to Grant. Grant, it is so fun to catch up with you. And Grant, I've been to Grant's house.
So have I.
You would too.
We were there together.
Well, I just remember myself that day. But Grant, you live in a beautiful home. And I'm sure your closets are amazing. I remember when we went.
Are they amazing, Grant?
I have multiple, but I have a room that's been, my husband actually built my closet from scratch.
You have a glamour room.
I have but it's the entire room was turned into a wardrobe.
I love that.
And it's quite beautiful. And I love the fact that not only is it beautiful, but that he built it for me with his hands.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I love it. Okay,
so speaking of amazing, so I was doing just some old, just looking back at past Met Galas, and we told Grant we wanted to talk about this. And in many of the stories that, whether it was Cosmo or maybe even Vogue and other The Cut, it is considered the best entrance and the best gown that was on point, on the theme is considered Rihanna in 2015.
Go closer.
The theme was China Through the Looking Glass. I mean, it was a yellow robe. And of course, she was the last one on the carpet.
I sent that to you as one of my favorites.
It's amazing. And would you agree that is like maybe one of the most stunning looks we've ever seen at a Met Gala?
It is, because it was like the emperor arriving in China going up the stairs of the palace, but Rihanna was in it. And the color.
Color.
Oh my God. When do you ever see color like that on just a standard red carpet? You just don't.
No.
I mean,
and then she had the embroidery, her hair, makeup, everything. And then Beyonce was a close second in her bedazzled gown that kind of was paying homage to Cher's naked dress that she wore in 1974. And her people wanted to make sure that everyone knew that dress weighed 55 pounds. It had so much embellishment.
Right.
What do you think, Grant, of all the fashion shows in the world and all the kind of major events, what one would you want to go to? Would it be the Met Gala?
I think it would be the Cannes Film Festival.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Thank you. And that's happening at the end of the month.
I just think because you have the water off in the background to one side, and that's what when you're walking up the stairs and you turn around, it's this long red carpet with the water then behind you. I mean, it would be the most beautiful experience. Plus, it's daylight and you get this long, long carpet. I mean, I think that would be so fabulous.
Yeah, and the intimidating steps that you must wear a heel.
Julia, do you know that your dad and Casey and I were in Nice on a cruise, and we were in Cannes, and I tried to make your dad walk up the stairs, and he just took a look at him and he said, "Honey, I'm going to sit here and have a cigarette. You run up there." And I mean,
he wasn't supposed to be smoking.
Steps, Grant. It was so many steps. But there's pictures of me posing, but of course there's no red carpet, but it is at the top.
I love that choice.
I love that choice. But it was like 30 steps.
Oh, you know what? Come on, Joya, Lori, you couldn't be there, but Joya, you saw some of us can break dance on staircases if we need to.
That's right.
That was amazing. That was amazing. You're such a good dancer. Are you going to be a dancer? Are you going to be dancing at all at Glamorama, or are you just...
I just get to be the director.
That's right. He's got the good
Lori's
job.
going to show us more pictures we can't see.
No, you're going
Okay.
to be able to see this.
Well,
Okay.
yes, and these are my favorite pics. I sent them to her today.
Okay,
Yeah, this
so
is Zendaya
Zendaya.
in 2018 in Versace. She looks like Joan of Arc. I can't
She
remember
totally
what the
does.
theme was.
It was representative of Joan of Arc, and it was. There's on YouTube actually. There's a special of her being fit for it and trying it on.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't we love YouTube?
and
Oh
the
my
weight
gosh, you
of
can find
that.
anything.
I think
oh,
it
wow.
was. It was very heavy actually. I think it was like 25 pounds.
That face.
She's
Just her
beyond.
face is just unbelievable. That is really a memorable.
She's like the female version of Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah,
Oh, I love
true.
that.
You know,
What do you
like-
think of? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, forever timeless and always fashion.
Okay, explain. I remember this year Doja Cat came as a cat. There was all kinds of people that came as kind of animals this year.
Well, because it was like, it was Karl Lagerfeld. It was like all in representation of Karl Lagerfeld, and she
It's
came.
Choupette.
Yes, exactly.
People came as the cat.
Yes,
That's right.
Choupette.
Jared Leto was the cat. Choupette.
Well, and that's, I think, why it was one of my favorites. You know, whether you did or did not, Karl Lagerfeld was a genius when it came to fashion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
And
he
that
one of your-
was
and he was
a
a
really-
German. You know,
yeah,
Oh,
he's the German.
I was just thinking when we introduced you earlier, you were in our movie.
I
Grand School.
was.
Grand
Yes,
School of
it
Girls.
was Grant's House of Girls.
Girls.
And you two was a bad pupils. You couldn't get your stuff together and you had very, very slutty outfits.
Very. Do you remember what the name of our movie was? This was for Project Down and Dirty at My Talk.
I can't remember what
Who
the
can
name
remember?
was. No.
It's the truly unastonishing
Delusional life.
delusional life of Lori and Julia.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we
and
were
with the-
taking lessons to be stars. So we could learn how to walk. We could learn how to be in a band. We had to learn how fashion. We had to learn all
'Cause
the. We learned
we
dance.
got the call
and we
to
were
perform
terrible.
with the Beach Boys.
But you know what the best thing was? When you remember there was that bag full of stuff that you had just thrown into a bag. And you guys were like, well, you just ad-libbed this. And I started throwing stuff out. And when we got done with that scene, we laughed so hard because
Oh.
I don't even know what I said, but it was something like, "Are you
You're
trying
funny.
to be a kitty cat?"
Yeah, right. No, I mean, we brought all of our costume clothes, our pleather jackets,
gosh.
this, that, and
Anything
that.
leopard.
Yeah,
It was-
anything leopard, and we were
Oh,
trying to
so
get you
fun.
to try and point us in a fashionable direction, and you just insulted us. It was so perfect. You
It's
could play
perfect.
Miranda Priestley.
You could.
Oh my
You
God,
could.
it was so fun. That's
Oh.
my favorite thing. We did a cabaret in December and I got to play the second act was like it was based on like the European cafe disco scene. And
Mhm.
so I played the German that came out and Amelia Santinella was sitting in the front and I remember just saying, oh, like I was so deep into German. And the following day I got a message saying, we were going to write to you and tell you how good it was, but we were trying to figure out how to say it German. And so it was so fun. But, like it's such an easy thing for me because, my mom, I grew up in Germany. My mom was German, but my
Right.
dad was American. Kann entweder Deutsch oder Englisch sprechen. It's
Oh,
easy.
But you're
just love
also a performer and an entertainer, and you do that very well. And that's what the impact is too, because you say it with such a flair.
Yeah.
You're so good. We're so delighted for you that you are bringing Glamorama back. The Children's Research
Children's Cancer Research Fund. It is May 15th
you know
at the
them.
State Theater. Starts at
Get your
5 o'clock, the
tickets.
red carpet. And what is our fashion? Fashion chic. So wear whatever you like.
Yes,
like.
yes, of course. Well, I'm so happy for the both of you, and thank you so much for having me on
Oh,
today.
Well, you'll be back. You'll be back. We miss you.
Anytime
so
I'll come
great.
back as a German next time.
Please.
thank you,
Okay.
darling.
Have a great day, hon. Thank you so
Dankeschön, auf
much.
Wiedersehen,
Ja,
tschüss,
schon.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Guten Tag.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And I'm going to say bye-bye to you as well, Lori.
All right. I'll catch you
Um,
later.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. And we hope that if you get a chance, you get to go to Glamorama. I'm sad I'm going to miss it, but I think you're going to be there, Lorraine.
I'm going to be there, Julia.
I know. Yeah. Say hi to Lori. Yeah. Tell her she's still loud. Thank you. Follow us, like us. We just appreciate you so much. And please support our sponsors. We'd appreciate that, too. Arrivederci. How do you say it in German? Ciao. I don't know.
He said it. Dankeschön.
Braunschweiger.
Yeah, Braunschweiger. Goodbye. Goodbye.